Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today, it's going to be Brain, it's going to be Last, Fighting Spirit, RJB Replay. What else do you want from StarCraft today? Top right, it's going to be an orange Protoss. It is Brain. And in the bottom left, it is Last. Alright, man. So Last is an excellent Terran player. Brain originally was a fastest map player who made his way over to 1v1, qualified for ASL, which means he is an excellent StarCraft player at all levels and all styles. Man, Brain is good. Last is excellent. It's a PvT. Are we going to see carriers? I don't know. Maybe I put carriers in the thumbnail, so you're spoiled a little bit. There's a fine line from thumbnails between spoilers and enticing people to click on your video. I'm not entirely sure I have a handle on it, even though I've been doing it for 7 or 8 years now. Let me know. Let me know if you click on my videos because of the thumbnail, or because of the players involved, or the matchup involved, or maybe just click on every single Zerg replay, or Terran, or Protoss. Let me know in the comments. I'll read it. I guarantee I read every single comment anyone ever makes on my videos. Just ask anybody who's been here for a while, and they will tell you that is true. No proxies. No Command Center first play, no Nexus first. Just nice and safe opening here for both of these players. What's going on in the world of entertainment? Barry's coming back. Actually, Barry, let's see. Barry's going to be back on April 16th. HBO show. Really enjoy it, man. I'm a big Bill Hader fan regardless. But, man, what he's doing with Barry. Oh, just some of like the darkest, most morally complex characterizations you've seen. Some really just despair. Some hilarity too. NoHo Hank is one of my favorite TV characters, maybe ever, in the history of television. So I don't know. I gotta recommend Barry to y'all if you haven't ever watched it. Okay. Okay. SCV moving out. Steve the SCV. FalconPaladin.store. Got ourselves a probe moving out, too. Still working on some probe merchandise for you, those of you who are Protoss fans. Thanks for your patience. And again, this is an RJB replay. As the hashtag RJB down below this video tells you. RJB stamp of approval, which means it is good. It is great. It is beyond normal. That is why RJB sends them to me. He has a massive, massive store of replays he's gotten from professional players directly, mostly. Recent replays, things from 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, even some 2023 stuff. Man, I've got a Royal versus Soma best of 5 coming soon that you guys are going to absolutely love. Can't wait to cast that one. But yeah, check him out. YouTube.com. Ooh, probe gets sniped. At RJB_TV. Steve the SCV comes in. His turn to scout. Probe got a little bit of information. I mean, there's not... Ooh, nice block. There's not a command center coming up on the low ground anyway at the natural base from Last. Oh, good snipe there on that SCV too. Like I said, both these players, excellent. Their control's been very good so far. Their timings have been very good too. Dragoon pressure is coming. Singularity charge on the way. Marines holding top of the ramp and just waiting for a machine shop to finish up here from Last. What's he going to get first? Siege mode. Going to go for Spider Mines. He's building a second base inside his main, which he can do because he is... After all, a Terran player. Another SCV comes over. Ooh, does manage to slip on in here. Get a scout off. See, nothing interesting. But that tells you that it's going to be an expansion here from the Protoss, right? He's saving up his money. Doesn't have any further tech. No robo. That's all the information he wanted, and there you go. He knows this is coming up, even though he hasn't seen it coming up. That's how you know this is working out. So, excellent, excellent job. Machine Shop says... 150 siege mode. Last, buddy. No. What the heck, man? It's got a siege. Oh, there it is. Oh, spider mines. Okay, cool. So spider mine research for the no vultures he has at this moment. And there's actually another tank in production, so he's not going to have any vultures for a second, but that's okay. They build quickly. He can get a couple out by the time spider mine research finishes. Get some spider mines down. Make our Protoss player Brain get out of here until he's got observers. A robo is on the way. Next tech after the Nexus. Pretty standard stuff. Recognizing the threat of spider mines. Protoss hate spider mines. Zerg hates spider mines to a certain extent. I don't really see it in Terran all that much, though. So Terrans are okay with spider mines. Yeah, just getting some free hits off on this command center. Cool. But, you know, Marine and 2 tanks against 3 Dragoons. Even 4 Dragoons. Oh, yeah, especially if one of... good sniping. Gets one of the tanks... Basically is trading Dragoons for siege tanks, which we talk about all the time in PvT. That's how we do. Are we really coming back on in there? So traded what? 4 Dragoons for a siege tank? Maybe 2 siege tanks. That third one did come in. Was that 2 down? I think it was 2 down. Third one alive, though. Robotic support bay pretty early here, too. So we're going to get ourselves some Reaver shenanigans, which is, I mean, just Reaver shenanigans are good in all 3 race matchups, right? Good against Protoss, good against Terran, good against Zerg. If you want to make your opponent's life terrible, Reaver drop them in the first, 7 or 8 minutes. At your level, probably not going to be able to handle that super well. I've definitely had many a game where I've been like, I'm macroing, things are chill, having a great time, dealing with Corsairs, and then Reaver shows up, goes, wipes out my economy, and I'm like, oh. Wasn't quite ready for a Reaver to show up, was I? No, and that's my fault. Siege mode on the way from last. Got himself an academy and an engineering bay coming in too for missile turrets and whatnot. Tank count 2. Dragoon count 6. Setting up for the third base over here. Spider-Mine says, are you really going to expand over here, Brain? Good luck with that. Good sir. And yeah, here we go. Dragoon, Reaver inside the shuttle. No speed for shuttles. It's on the way. Really important upgrade to get if you're going to be doing anything with shuttles in the game at all. Whether it's dropping. Maybe you're just using it to transfer workers to a new base. I mean, that's not usually how they're used by the pros, but maybe that's what you use shuttles for. Either way, scan up. What did we scan? This. What did we see? Vacuum cleaners. What does that mean? Reaver's on the way. So he's pulling some units back into his main base. He's like, okay, Reavers traditionally kind of want to land in mineral lines. Let's get a turret up over here. Let's get a siege tank on the high ground. Coming all the way down to the south and going to take some turret shots. Oh, no. There we go. Shifting down to the south. And yeah, this is not actually. Okay, well, maybe. I mean, shuttle speed just kicked in. Gonna try to cruise on up here and not quite sure. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Just decided to get the heck right on out of there. I mean, look, Lasto's right on top of that drop from the second it arrived into his airspace. So probably smart from Brain, not trying to get some damage, not trying to be too greedy there. Not going to complain about it. Observer out, third base out. Observatory actually in the third base. Weird place for it, but hey. Maybe it won't die. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put $5 on this observatory dies at some point in this game. It is way too exposed. Siege tanks are going to park themselves here at some point, and the observatory is going to get crushed. We'll see. Now, denying the third base of your Terran opponent while you got a third base of your own is a good feeling. If you're a Protoss player, siege tanks are slowly pushing their way on in. Shuttles, like, can't go in. This stupid command center is providing a lot of vision. A lot of vision here. Ooh, good obs snipe there. Yeah, turret, and turret. That obs is kind of boxed in a little bit. Not many places for it to go. Now, the problem is that Lass has to go up this ramp with siege tanks. Which, I don't know. Does he want to do that? A little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. And sneaking into the main base. This shuttle's taking some serious hits. But Reaver on... Hey, Reaver gets an unload. Decides not to go for the SCVs. Instead, going for this little foursome of Supply Depot and Academy here. Actually... Weird choice, man. But alright. I mean, I guess you can kill the Academy if you wanted to. Nope, focusing a missile turret now, and then a pick. Oh, gets the turret. Tries to escape, but the Goliaths wipe out that shuttle. Taking too many hits to survive for sure. Dragoon still denying this third base. Command center came all the way back home. Potentially a 4th base coming up. 12 o'clock here from Brain. I love that from him. Arbiter Tribunal is on the way. And the siege tanks did manage to creep their way up here enough to give last to 3rd base. Great. Great and good. Everything is awesome. So yeah, Arbiter recalls in El Futuro? Somebody... Not Los Futuros, because that's multiples. El... The future. So out expanding the Terran, check. Trading siege tanks for Dragoons, kind of did that early, hasn't done it in a while. Half check. Observers out to make sure you know where the Terran is moving, check. Observers getting killed by Goliaths, also check. Not great, but you know, it's okay. Scanning, scanning, scanning. Sees these Dragoons coming down this direction in order, yeah, I mean, that's what the Observer was for. Forces a siege up well away from this 3rd base. That's what you want to do. And you're gonna trade it? You're gonna trade here? Nah, Brain's backing out. Brain's like, no, I don't want to trade. It's scary. It totally sucks. And it does. Losing Dragoons sucks, but trading them out for tanks is always the good choice in the long run. Ah, water is so good. Water is delicious. That is the sponsored drink of the day. Water. Especially if it's been kind of a long day. Water really hits the spot. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Siege tanks sieging up low ground by this 3rd base. Meanwhile, Dragoons say, I don't want to deal with the tanks. Let's counter. Reaver gets on top. Siege tank down. Oh, no. Oh, no. Forcing a liftoff on that 3rd base entirely. Dragoons busting up this ramp. 3rd base dead. Kind of trading a base for a base here, though, because this 3rd base of the Protoss of Brains is dead. His 4th base, all the probes are heading over there. Very much more of a safe place to be. Zealot comes in. Oh, kills one of the tanks. Not bad. Wait. Hold on. My gosh, gets another tank? That should not have really happened. On the other side, small siege tank, vulture attack coming on up here. I think Zealots got dropped onto those tanks, but didn't take any down with them. Spider Mine's in the mix, trying to come from both sides. There you go. From the south side, from the north side. Brain is going to clear this tank group out, lose a bunch of Dragoons in the process, but it will be enough, especially, again, with a little bit of Zealot support. Good. Now, this Nexus at the 3rd base of Brain is going to die. Is the Observatory going to die? No. It's going to get saved because it's not a priority target. But I feel like it's going to die at some point. Yeah, this tank knows he's out. So 3rd base is still not back. God, another siege tank is going to die. Yeah, if your goal here is to whittle down the siege tank count, first 13 minutes I think has gone pretty well for Brain. Trader Dragoons for him? Yeah, but that's the point. It's not kill enemy tanks at no cost to your own army. It's trade enemy tanks for Dragoons. It's easier for you to replace Dragoons than it is for the Terran player to replace tanks, especially if you're on extra income compared to him. That said, it is a 3-basing Protoss right now, too. Technically a 3-basing... Ooh, shuttle down. To a 3-basing Terran. Not ideal if you happen to be a Protoss player, as Brain is. He's not even replanting the 3rd base here. I think last might be in a fantastic position here. I don't know. After losing his 3rd, I was worried about him, but he did wipe out the enemy's 3rd base, which brought him back into about even footing here at about 13 minutes. But yeah, hit that like button if you're enjoying the cast so far. Just lets the algorithm know that I'm here. Recommends me to other Brood War fans that are out there. All right, Dragoons, Arbiter in the mix. We have had an Arbiter Tribunal for like 3 minutes. I'm not sure if recall has been researched either. I haven't watched the production tab closely enough for that, but we will see if that is the case. Just kind of sitting in front of a missile turret. Not exactly your job here, Arbiter friend. Trying to bust up this ramp. Here comes the Brain. It's not the Brain, it's Brain. The Great Brain. I have talked about the Great Brain series of books. I don't know if I'm like the only person who's ever read... That's not true. By F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's good stuff for kids. Recommend it if you've got like 9, 10, 11-year-olds. I think they would enjoy the Great Brain books. about a really smart, like, 10, 11-year-old, right? Who's, like, smarter than most of the adults. And kids love reading about characters like that, don't they? Because they feel like they're smarter than most of the adults out there, too. Recall is researching. Not there. Yeah, these vultures kind of get caught out. Caught in 4K and wiped out. Do we have real-time lighting on? We do. Sometimes hard to tell. Sometimes it turns itself off, too. Anyway, back to 4 bases. Excellent. Brain feels good about that. Third base has been humming for a while now from last. Today is 143 to 146 total supply. Pretty even. Not really where you want to be if you're the Protoss player right now. Upgrades for the mech all over the place. They're sitting at 1-1 currently. Gateway is at +1 attack. No armor and new shield upgrade, but +2 ground weapons is being researched, along with the recall. Couple cannons on the way, just so vultures can't wipe out an entire mineral line by themselves. Siege tanks, cannons can't do much about that, but at least the vultures are kept away and deterred. Checking this bottom right area for a base. I don't see anything. That's good information to have. Going to try to maybe sneak on into the natural base along this southern path. Brain kind of sneak on in, see what damage you can get done there. But bunch of vultures, got a bit of a wall you can throw down in an emergency with this barracks and this engineering bay. This guy is stuck. He built this supply depot. He's trying to do what his commander is telling him to do, but there is no way for him to do it unless he gets drop shipped out of there. I'm not even sure. I mean, obviously there is. Yeah, science vessels are coming in, so he could make a drop ship if he wanted, but science vessels are usually more of a priority in this matchup than drop ships are. I mean, generally in every matchup, honestly. Drop ships, actually, never mind. Probably better in TVT than science vessels are. Defensive Matrix is pretty good. Just that Irradiate is pretty bad in TVT because it's always mech. And even EMP is not super great unless your opponent has a bunch of ghosts, which I guess maybe you could like EMP a group of wraiths during a wraith transition in your TVT. That might be kind of cool. But we don't see that a lot, do we? No, not so much. Top left for a 5th base. There we go. Getting started. Bye, Brain. At the 17-minute mark, more scans happening. Middle, right side, catches the troop movements down the right side by these Dragoons. Observers in position, Dragoon in position. Just getting as much information from the outside as the Protoss can here. Maybe setting up for a recall? I don't know. He keeps just poking down to see if Lass is expanding down this right side. He's not, nor is he taking the 6 o'clock either. He's on 3 bases, which is strong. You can max out on 3 bases, which is exactly what Last has done here. Yeah, more scanning TCs. This is a group of Dragoons that we can just kind of wipe out with whatever we have, right? This isn't even really much of a concern. Nice stasis up. Does catch a couple science vessels and a couple of vultures, but nothing really game-changing at all. Gotta kind of back out of there with the majority of his army now, Brain. Doesn't like what he sees from Last coming from this direction. I keep thinking this is an Arbiter, but it's just an Observer, Falcon. It's been sitting there forever. It's not moved. It's not an Arbiter, okay? Just trying to catch recalls. So sue me. Waiting for the stasis to wear off here. Catching 2 science vessels would be nice. Oh, another stasis on a couple, 3 of those tanks. Are we coming from both directions? No, just from the south here. Woo-wee! Big engagement. Zealots on top of everything. Can the vultures thin that zealot count out enough for the siege tanks to do their damage against these Dragoons? I don't know. Like 7 of these tanks are in stasis. However, the Dragoon blood is soaking into the ground. As this was just a trade out moment here for Brain. He couldn't quite wipe out the entire army, but he killed a bunch of siege tanks. Zealots are a bit... Oh, freak high temp lad is a bit sloppy from Brain. Yeah, Zealots got on top of there. These units died. These units are going to come out of stasis and are pretty happy. 167 to 103 supply here. That might have been overextending a little bit. Now, I know I say trade. Trade Dragoons for siege tanks. But if you do it enough and don't get really... don't get even value for it. Get worse than even value for it, which is pretty easy to do when we're dealing with +2 siege tanks. If you do that enough, you're going to be in a spot of trouble. So we got to keep an eye on that if we're Brain. Last, holding center. There's really no reason to do this unless you're trying to expand to the center, which I don't really recommend on Fighting Spirit, unless you're, again, way ahead or way behind. Your confidence level determines whether you can take the center here. Super low confidence, take the center. Super high confidence, take the center. Anywhere in between, leave it alone. Not worth the risk. Yeah, I'm curious he hasn't unsieged and moved out. He's just kind of like, well, maybe Brain will keep walking into my tanks if I sit here. Seems like not exactly the greatest idea I've ever seen. So he's maxed out. He's got 3 more tanks on the way, and that'll be it for a while here, unless there's some kind of a crazy engagement. These units need to move out here. Just keep scanning. Sending SCVs down, maybe to expand to the 6 o'clock here, but SCVs have to fight against this Dragoon, which is not ideal. Arbiter trying to find somewhere to recall, but the turret city here at the 3rd base is kind of insane. Arbiter's not going to die to it or anything, but, you know, not exactly finding anywhere to hang out. All right, last. You got to move out. You got to make a decision. Although, dude, seriously, if Brain continues wandering in here, gonna be a bad time. All right, replay, are you broken? The money's getting spent, and it seems like Brain continues to shark around here, but Last hasn't really moved for a hot minute, has he? Nope. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna back this up like a minute. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. So command center floating over this way. Army not in the center, sitting there at all. Bunch of spider mines down that way, though. Yeah, all right. So no longer clumping stuff up there. We got siege tanks protecting this left side base. Okay, yep, it was broken a little bit, but rewinding did fix it. Excellent. That is the nice thing. Sometimes newer replays break a little bit, but then you can just rewind and they'll fix. It's awesome. Okay, so 4th base coming in from Brain down here to the south. Top left has been running for quite some time here for Brain. Maybe going to expand down to that natural location on the top left spawn, which would make a ton of sense. 136 to 176 supply. Last is at 136 supply. All right. Well, here comes Brain. He's up 178 to 136 supply. Did we miss? Oh, I hate doing this. This is not my favorite thing, but there's got to be some kind of a huge engagement we missed here, isn't there? When did... Maybe Last never actually maxed out in this game. Maybe the max out we saw was a total lie. Okay, so... Yeah, alright. So these are... He gets more stasises off. Wow! Okay, so this engagement goes way better for Brain than we thought it did. He stasises 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... 7 siege tanks and like 4 Goliaths, and then just kind of parks on them. Sends army up to try to save the dudes in stasis, but they kind of show up a little bit too early. Tank down. Tank down. Vultures trying to save it. Storms are up. 142 to 122 supply. Yeah, and as soon as these guys come into stasis down, siege tank dead. Spider Mine's wiping out a High Templar there, but that tank down tank dies too. Okay, so yeah, 128 to 117 total supply here. This center army is completely wiped out. Last has some units trying to come from the south, but a little bit too early or too late to that party to save those siege tanks. All right, so that was tough. That was not ideal for our guy Last at all. Then these guys run out of mining. These guys run out of mining. Everybody, let's see, some of them transfer up to this left side 3rd base. Some of them decide to go long distance mine, right? Is that what we saw down here at the 6 o'clock while a command center inside the main is lifted off and shoved over this direction? Yeah, man, 156 to 135 supply. This is where our guy Brain wants to be. Oh no, building a command center in the natural base and then lifting it and sending it to the 6 o'clock. Nice. It's a little bit of a zealot drop here. I love this guy. Bouncing. Bouncing, dead. We got Archon trying to bust up this ramp, but kind of get caught in a corner here. The Protoss army getting flanked, ooh, from the south and the right side here. Siege tanks sieging up. Scans to reveal the cloaked units. Nothing wiping out that Arbiter because there really aren't enough Goliaths target firing it. These guys do have +3 attack and +1 armor versus a +2/+1 upgrade setup here from the Terran player. So yeah, these SCVs hanging out and this command center flying over. All right, cool. So this is where we rewound to just a minute ago. This has been a bit of a all over the place cast. I apologize for that, but that's what happens when you're working with a bit of a janky replay. But RJB, you know, he considered it a good one. So we trust it. It's been pretty good stuff here from Brain so far. Again, Brain, not the more established player compared to last, but he's very good. If you qualify for ASL, I don't care what else you've done in your life. You're a really, really good Brood War player, deserving of my respect. Yeah, a lot of SCVs coming down here to the south at 6 o'clock. $178 to $136 supply. Yep, we've been here, heading down south, clearing out some spider mines. Here is Brain expanding down the left side here too. He's got to feel pretty comfortable. I would, if I was him right now. If you can wipe out this 4th base, that might just be a good game scenario, which is why Last is covering it. Trying to cover this area into his natural as well as the area into his 4th base at the same time. Tanks are pretty good at covering a wide range of area, especially if there are a bunch of them. That's a force multiplier. You can cover all the way from here, all the way up to there pretty darn easily. But again, trading out. Trying to prevent a maxed out Terran army with 1 million siege tanks from existing. Easier said than done. DT's on the way. All right. Well, we're just going to face smash our way in here. Try to get some beautiful storms off. Spider-Mine's webbing out 2 High Templar. Before they do anything else, another one comes in, gets a storm off. Another one gets a second storm off. Both tanks getting storm die thanks to the 2 storm setup there. Another great storm trying to Dragoon our way through this. Zealot bombing on top of those tanks to the south. Not enough Protoss to actually crush this army, but the trades were good. Several tanks died there. Thanks to the storms, thanks to the Dragoons and the Zealots all working in conjunction. Excellent. Very good engagement there, I would say. 146 to 129 supply. There's an observer kind of hanging out. Like, can we maybe slip an Arbiter? Nah, can't go through here. Can't really go through here. Can't come this way. There's just really too many turrets, really, for Arbiters to find any purchase. Last, maybe over defending here, but I don't know. How many games have we seen where recalls over and over again just kind of sink a Terran player? It happens. It happens for sure. It's something to worry about. That said, this 6 o'clock base, not all that protected by the anti-air. There's a single turret here. Wait, 2 turrets here. Never mind. Maybe we're good. But yeah, DT's coming in. Ooh, shield upgrade on the way from the Protoss. Like, not something we see a lot of. It's expensive. Like, the first level, I think, is 200, which is just like, woof. Expensive stuff. Oh, look where we recalled. Onto 2 missile turret base itself. The 4th. Rawr! Getting right on top of these SCVs. Not exactly the targets, as there are siege tanks in the general area that need to be wiped out. Good Storm Zealot combo there. A lot of tanks are killed. Trying to maybe force a lift off here on the command center. No. Wiping out the comsat station. I don't know. Changing targets onto these siege tanks down here at the south. And bam. Tank down. Tank down. High Templar. Not enough energy for a storm. Might as well just absorb some shots intended for Dragoons otherwise. And not bad. Not bad. 5 kills on a Dragoon. Nice recall. Stopped mining for a bit here at this 4th base of the Terran. That said, this is the kind of part of the game where the Terran just kind of shows up with 3 siege tanks and wipes out an entire Protoss base, and you're like, how is that all that they need is like 3 siege tanks? And it's like, well, generally the rest of their army is somewhere else, and the rest of your army is somewhere else, and, well, these guys have +2 attack. Ah, DT. DT in the house. Oh, the storm, good, and then the weakening, the finishing off. The DTs die, but they got the siege tanks, and therefore the base is saved. Sick defense there from Brain. That was awesome. Très bien, merci, says every Protoss player. That's what we like to see from Brain. Yeah, man, I think Brain's fine. It's really been Last that's been on the back foot. Every attack that Last has tried to mount here today has not gone super well for him. I don't know. Maybe Last is getting a little bit long in the tooth, right? Some of the recent games we've cast of his have just been like, you know, it's good. It's not as good as other high-level Terran players out there, though. Yeah, happens to the best of us. Recall! Again, newest source of income for the Terran. It really means a lot for Last to hang on to this base. God, Spider-Mind's trying to do it, but no! Last straight up taps out, and Brain is our winner in 25 minutes and 56 seconds. Holy crap, dude. Yeah, so Brain lost a base today. He lost his third. This observatory never died. I owe you guys $5. $5 each would be a lot of money. I'm not doing that. But man, the observatory stays alive because Last really never mounted any kind of a serious attack after this one. He did manage to kill the third base. He got up here, kind of threatened the natural a little bit, got shoved away, came up through the center, got stasis to death. That got killed. A small attack on the left side got stopped by Storm and by a couple DTs. That's it. So, if you can't be on the offensive here as a Terran player and you're only on the defensive, I know I say this a lot, but the player that's on the back foot defending over and over and over again is usually the one that loses. You got to be on the offensive if you're going to win a game of StarCraft. Not all the time, but it's true more often than not. I don't know. Was this GG? Let's take a look at it. There's 6 Zealots here versus only 3 Siege Tanks. A High Templar with not enough energy for a Storm. A couple Dragoons in here as well. No +3 attack on the mech. Not really in production there either. So tough. Tough beans there for Last. Not as good upgrades. He's down like 100 supply at this stage of the game too. He might be able to micro his way out to a victory here, but I mean, there are no vultures in the general area at all. There's vultures coming down this ramp out of the main base, but by the time they get over here, that's a liftoff on the command center. Maybe it's even dead. Tough beans. So nice job, Brain. I told you Brain's a great Protoss player. He is excellent and very, very scary to face. And if you see a Brain game next, you should definitely respect it. 209,000 points here from Brain. What was that? 180? 181 from the Terran player. Did outproduce the Protoss. Vultures are cheap, but got outkilled. On the other side of it, structures raised 17-2 in favor of the Protoss. And this is the key, right? Outspending the Terran player 65,000 to 49,000. That is a full 16,000 resources in only 25 minutes. Add what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total bases. The Terran kind of had 4, lost the third base for a long while. It wasn't going to work out. And it didn't. So nicely done there by Brain. Just did everything he needed to do. Out expanding the Terran, trading siege tanks for Dragoons, using stasis, getting recalls out there, out upgrading the Terran player too. Everything came together perfectly for him, and he got that win. You know, not that he's going to beat Last every time he beats him, but remember, you never know. You never do. So excellent plays, and that's going to be it for me today. So this has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw, what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.